of death per se, but I guess I am afraid of dying. That does make sense.
That's normal.
Like, I don't want to go through the process. Like, if I just didn't wake up, that doesn't seem so bad. But if I like got into a car accident and got mauled, I don't want to go through all that.
Death itself is still scary, though. Like,
no, I'm ready. Let's go.
You're not going to be.
I think there's something else. I'm starting to think there may be something else. Nothing good or anything, but like
it could be good.
Nah, it's not going to be good. Why would it be good?
I don't think there's anything else, and it's why I'm not afraid of death. Death is everybody's problem but mine. Like, I've been put myself in stupid situations where I had to fight to stay alive, and I do. But if I didn't, that's really a you problem. I'm the only one not suffering here. You guys got something to figure out. Jackie's got something to figure out. The kids got emotional scars, but me, I'm the only one who's okay from my death.
I'm starting to believe in simulation theory more and more. So we might just wake up somewhere else. Like like they might have been right about reincarnation, just wrong about what it is.
I don't know. I think simulation reincarnation for me, seems as out there as like the Hindu reincarnation.
It seems less out there than any religion, because I don't believe in the magical beings, but computers exist, and I play a video game every day where there's NPCs and shit in there, so I can kind of extrapolate that, out to where I'm the kind of being someone else's game.
The kind of being that could create a simulation like the one we're in, if that's what it was, like that's just like God at that point. Like what would even differentiate that level of intelligence and
I don't know that's God.
From a God to us.
Well, it's about your perspective, right? You go to those North Sentinelese Islanders, and they'll think I'm God. Give me a few minutes and a Nintendo
no, they won't.
Switch.
They're going to try and fucking kill you and eat your white flesh
at first. But I'm going to land on like a hoverboard, and I'm going to use like a sonic weapon to deafen them and make them fall to the ground or something. I'm going to shoot one of them with a taser. And then I'm going to like do some sort of science experiment and make the water turn red and then black again. Maybe I'll show up right before a solar eclipse and tell them and I'll make that part of my show. I can convince them I'm God. Just give me some resources.
If you go in there and like they haven't discovered math yet or anything or like writing language.
No.
And so like you really could bamboozle them with most anything.
Yeah. All I'm saying is like what's that thing, Woody, with it's like is it Turing something or another? The way that computer chips. No, then it's something else. I'm misconstrued. It's the thing
Moore's
about
law, where they
Moore's law.
Yeah.
Like you could almost extrapolate out to how much more advanced we would need to be to simulate the universe and fully from where we are now. And I don't think it's godhood. It's it's a lot more advanced, but it's not godhood.
Yeah, but from where we're sitting, like
the guy running the program is our God. I'll bow down. I'll worship. I'll burn incense. Whatever he needs to keep the servers running.
I don't want to be in a simulation. That's so gay.
I do. Maybe we're people doing something else, and we're just in that simulation while our bodies travel to the planet we're all going to colonize or something cool like that. What if we woke up and they're like, "How was your dream?" Like, "Oh my God, that's right. My name's Kevin. Not Kyle. I'm an astronaut. I'm an astronaut."
Imagine that. In my case, like my wife and kids would be gone. It was all a dream.
Yeah.
That happened to a guy. There was a guy who had a head injury and claims that he lived a whole life during a brief period of time that he was in, like comatose from that head injury.
And that man's name was Jean-Luc Picard.
Well, that did happen to Jean-Luc Picard. That was real. That wasn't fake. That was an alien probe.
That wasn't fake.
That was a real episode of the show.
Yeah, it was a real episode. No, that happened to Jean. I saw it happen. No, but that guy claimed that he lived a whole life and had a family and everything. And I think that he was so distraught about losing that family, almost like a phantom limb syndrome, but memory, that he may have killed himself afterwards. I remember reading about that. Yeah. I don't know.
Well,
maybe we're in
horrible.
I'd like to believe that we're in a simulation, Taylor.
Yeah. Why is that better?
Why is it good?
Because there's something else. There's something bigger. There's something more complex. There's something behind all this. There might be a reason for our suffering, our lives, our grind.
Yeah. Why would that be better?
Because purpose gives meaning. Purpose gives meaning. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we're just twiddling our thumbs in the darkness of the universe. And it's so much bigger than us that we are truly just worthless grains of sand, not just literally just nothingness. But if this is all some big like computer program and we're all being tested in some way, or if we're NPCs in a thing to show 25th century people what the 21st century was like, just before World War III, maybe we're part of that simulation. They're like, we're just running in a museum somewhere on a loop, and the people are coming in and watching our simulation.
Well, then why? I get, Mr. Programmer, I understand why you had to do this to test it, but like, why'd you give me like a problem regulating my weight?
I like coming at it from the other side. Like you said, hey, this thing is so big, we're just worthless grains of sand. When I think about it on how we're just worthless grains of sand, it lowers my sense of responsibility. Like, you know what? I am a tiny little grain of sand in this giant beach. All I really need to do is like maintain the house, keep the people around me fed. That's it, really. Like clothes. This bar is not as high as I thought it was. I don't know.
I just don't know if it matters. Like, are the people we love and the relationships we have and the people we protect and look out for, like, I just don't know if it matters. If it's, nothing.
But you said
matters, it's harder.
You said you enjoyed the idea of like being part of something bigger, but wouldn't it be like if you get to pick one where it's like you were either made by like a god and you matter because of that, or you were made by a simulation guy who's testing something and you matter because you're integral to the simulation? Like, I'd rather the former, because that seems more meaningful to me than like
I'm hoping
part of
there's
a
something more
simulation that they're just studying or
my version of a simulation theory is like I described, like maybe we're just the program that runs in a museum somewhere, and we're not even a big deal. We're not some master program ran by the future equivalent of a world government.
We're like Tamagotchi.
Yeah, we're Tamagotchi. Yeah, we're simple as that. We're a child's toy or something like that.
That's a terrible fantasy. I hate that.
Yeah, that would suck. But if we're like, what if we like die and then a pod opens up and we slide out and we remember our real life? We're not, sometimes you're in a dream, you're a cowboy. You're not thinking I'm a cowboy, but I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be Taylor. You're like, this is the cowboy life, all right.
Cowboy. Yeah.
But then you wake up and you're like, I'm not a cowboy. Fun fantasy though. Like, what if you woke up and you're like, I'm not Taylor. I'm Captain Benjamin Sisko. This space station is mine. I got to look out for the Bajorans. And then you go about your life, being Captain Sisko. You're going to have to get used to being black, but it's the 23rd century, I think. So it's not even a concern anymore. Cops don't bother you.
That'd be fine. I get to be a captain?
Technically a commander, but later on you'll get promoted.
Okay, well, pretty sure commander's a higher rank than captain.
It's not.
I mean,
this is a stupid simulation.
Better.
Yeah.
It's not even a simulation. It's just ranks.
No, I mean the way this simulation works. Captain is not higher than commander.
It is.
It is in Star Trek. He is right about that.
Oh, in Star Trek.
It
I
is
also
in the military.
concede that commander sounds cooler than captain.
Yeah, I'd rather be a commander.
Commander's the second in command, I believe. Like on a nuclear submarine, I know the executive officer is, I think that's the commander. He's like second in command, and then there's the captain.
No, it would be admiral.
I need a superlative. I want to be
There's
like
no admiral on a fucking nuclear submarine. He's in an office
commander.
in fucking
master and commander.
Yeah, the great commander. Like, there's a lot of ways we could go with this, but commander
Emperor's
is
the
room
coolest
for
title.
improvement.
Emperor's the best title.
That's pretty cool. Czar is pretty cool just because it sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does Czar mean?
I think that like it was originally some Russian thing, and then it sounded
emperor.
so cool that they like everyone else was like, Czar, that's pretty sick. We're gonna put like czar of fucking finance in our government and whatnot.
That checks out. I looked at my imagination.
One having great power or authority.
Mm-hmm. And that checks out with me, Woody, because I made it up. I don't know. So what you think that commander is? This is like when we got in the argument about like buying a Duke ship or when you can go to Sealand.
That was a big scam. It turned out that got uncovered.
What?
We already cashed the check, so
we already cashed the check.
Wait, when you say it got uncovered as a scam, everyone knew that, right?
No, it was presented so. They got sued. Like, they're in legal trouble because of their false claims of actually providing...
You can't sue me. I'm the king of Sealand. Your laws make no difference to me.
I mean, didn't you have to own land in a place or something? Did they sell you an atom of land or something like that?
No, you can buy them in...
square foot or something.
You can buy them in regular England, because we also learned that. You could do the Sealand route, or maybe it wasn't England, maybe it was Scotland. where you could like buy some 1 yard by 1 yard
It
parcel.
wasn't even, you were buying like a Duke ship or something, like a title. They were
but you
selling
could get different
fake
levels. You could be like a Baron or you could be a Duke, and they had different pricing, if I recall.
Yeah, they got sued. Yeah, they got sued.
So we had a sponsor that said they sold you land and they got sued.
Yeah, that's who we're talking about. The land is what made you a Duke. You needed to be a landowner in Scotland to be a Duke of Scotland.
Yeah. So they sell you like a patch of land that has like 1.5 trees on it, and then they're like, all right,
they give you a square foot.
Oh, okay.
Well, they give you a patch of tree. My God.
No,
like timber rights that come along with my Dukeship?
A patch with a tree and a half in it. I mean, like a 1 yard thing where it's like, this is my land. I get most of this tree and some of that one.
Scottish trees are worth more than your life, my friend. You don't even know. No, it turned out to be a big scam. They got sued.
Oh, man. Well, that sucks.
I guess, for all those fake Dukes.
That is one big negative that we have here in the U.S. Not enough cool titles.
We're working on it.
Have you ever thought about like how stupid, like Secretary of Defense? The Secretary of Defense. That's fucking gay. It should be the Grand Warlord or something intense. Secretary. War Master. That's fine too. Just not
Bring
Secretary.
to me my Master of War.
Yeah, Secretary is for girls.
Checks out. That's true.
Checks out. Yeah.
I just looked at my opinion.
I remember as a young kid thinking that, where it'd be like the Secretary of like my parents are watching TV and I just hear it while I'm playing with Kinects. Like the Secretary of Defense stated to President Clinton that, and it's like, Secretary? The highest guy is like the guy in charge of the generals, which is a cool name, is a secretary.
Oh, that's funny because I went the other way. I was like, why is the Secretary of Defense talking to the president?
Oh,
like, shouldn't the person in charge be doing this?
Yeah, the Secretary of Defense should be blowing him like that one bitch I hear about when my parents are watching the news.
Have you spoken to the Secretary of Defense? No, but I have spoken to the Manager of Defense. Trust me, it's all fine. It doesn't make any sense at all.
The defense czar. The war king.
War king? I like War Master. I like War Master.